Happy Thursday, everybody. The gang's all here. We got Sean, we got Amedeus, and we got me. So, boys, who were the winners and losers yesterday as players moved from one club to the other in Europe? It was a busy day for some and not so busy for others.
I mean, the main winners, Manchester United is going to walked into the final here. I mean, that ties over. I mean, that was probably the best outcome possible yesterday, to be honest. You got a goal from Whitehorse. Rash Pele scored again, dribbling through the whole defense there. I mean, he's probably the hottest scorer in the world at this point. You can really now you could go full strength on Saturday against Reading at home in the FA Cup and try to smash them. And then, really next week you could rotate, which means that game next Saturday, I forget who they play, Southampton possibly. I think they play, Crystal Palace, who they 0-1. So that game, Crystal Palace on Saturday. Now you're not playing back to back. You don't have to play the starters back to back, and it's going to be. Everybody in the world thought it was going to be. Newcastle 1-0 was the lock of the century. Everybody in the world knew when those ties came out that the final was going to be Newcastle and Manchester United. So that's pretty cool. I didn't see. I have to look. I didn't see the scores. Some of the other scores, Porto won 3-0 yesterday. I like that. I didn't see a lot of the transfer stuff, so I have to get up on the transfer news here. What was the big transfer news yesterday?
Well, there's a bunch of them. The thing that I'm trying to scroll down here real quick. One of the things going on is Real Madrid. I'm sorry, not Real Madrid. My apologies. It is AC Milan. AC Milan is looking to make a signing today, and it's Cancelo. I'm sorry. So that's one of them. Excuse me. By the way, in case you're looking for Messi, he's in the Alps on a skiing trip, which, of course, that's what you would expect during the middle of the season. It's looked like AC Milan was busy yesterday. Let's see who else was busy yesterday as well.
I know Manchester United might bring in Borja Iglesias from Spain. They're still looking for, from Betis, which would be interesting. Just looking for one more player up top.
Yeah.
But, they're going to buy someone in the summer. It's going to be, they're going to go shopping probably in.
TSG Hoffenheim added Brooks to their side. That came yesterday.
John Brooks?
Yeah.
Okay.
And PSG signed a non-training contract with Sarif. Is it Naga?
I don't know.
NHAGA.
I know. Once Weston McKennie's probably going to leave Juventus, possibly Leeds. So their Leeds' entire midfield will be United States players, which is interesting. But
Tottenham picked up Pedro Porro yesterday.
Yeah, the outside back, Tariq Lamptey may go and replace him. We just need Chelsea to shut it down here. Malo Gusto to stay where he's at in Lyon until the summer. I know United's just stay where you're at. Stay where you're at. I think for some of these players, here, do I make a move now? Or do I wait till the summer and Liverpool's going to be flush and Manchester United's going to be flush and Real Madrid's going to be looking to sign some players and PSG is going to be looking to sign some players. So you can go to that dumpster fire in London, or you could wait a little bit and play for a decent team.
It looks like a couple of different teams are going to sign or on the brink of signing. Madrid is looking to pick up Garcia, and as I said earlier, AC Milan is Cancelo is looking. They're looking at him.
That's the signing that's going to bring you over the hump, Amedeus.
Nobody's catching Napoli at this point. Did you see AC Milan get destroyed by Lazio? That was terrible.
No, what, on Tuesday?
Yeah, 4-0. Got absolutely dismantled.
So it wasn't that close.
Yeah, Milinkovic Savic. It's interesting. I mean, that league all of a sudden now. I mean, once again, Lazio here is up into third again, and
only good at home.
You have AC Milan, Lazio, Inter, Roma all on 38 or 37 points, and that's the top 5, and only 4 make the Champions League. Atalanta on 35, and then there's a big gap back to Udinese. So it's going to be Napoli that wins the league, then 3 teams, and then somebody, Roma, Inter, Napoli, AC Milan, Inter could still win the Champions League, so they still have hope, to get into the Champions League that way, and Roma can still win the Europa League, so they can get into the Champions League as well. So, it's not going to be Juventus, I know that. Even though they have 11 wins, they will not be in them.
Well, that's at least something. We were before we came on, we were talking tennis. It's going to be an interesting Aussie Open. We got a women's final that you almost got right. Amedeus, pretty darn close.
Yeah, I mean,
Azarenka, but what are you going to do, right?
I mean, Sabalenka's playing well, I guess. I don't know.
She's playing very well.
Like I said, she had a down year for the longest time, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. Rybakina's a good player, so she's somebody I've watched over the last 5 years. So it'll be interesting. I'm more interested on the men's side though, because that's where my last future is alive on Karen Khachanov. And once he takes out Tsitsipas tonight, he's coming for Djokovic in the finals.
Hey, well, there's some Americans in there, guys. That's it's been a while since that happened.
Yeah, you guys were guaranteed one in the semifinals because you had Shelton and Paul matched up against each other. So it's basically
Tommy Paul from Voorhees, New Jersey.
It was like a free in basically for one of them. You knew there was going to be an American in there. You just didn't know which one.
There, yeah. And
he's got a chance. Look, I mean,
he's pretty good.
He's got a chance. I mean, you're here. I mean, Djokovic has been playing better since he's got the leg wrapped up, and he absolutely destroyed Rublev the other day. So he's a machine at this point.
He's like the Holland of tennis. It's just a robot on the court.
Right.
You knew that he's gonna come out this year and just absolutely annihilate the field. Like after what happened last, I think he'll have a monster year this year. I think he's gonna win.
Think he's going for that Grand Slam again?
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard to win 4, but I think he wins at least 2, maybe 3. He especially if he stays healthy. I mean, he'll be the record holder, and he's got a lot of years left. It looks like. I mean, the guy's he's a machine. I mean, that's the thing now. I mean, it's not like it was 20, 30 years ago when you're 26 and you're basically washed up. I mean, these guys are in ridiculous shape here. I mean, they're basically into their 30s, getting stronger and stuff. It's just that when the body starts breaking down, that's when stuff happens. But it's interesting. I see how long Djokovic can hold off this new wave of players.
He has won a majority of his tournaments after the age of 30, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's in some regards, he's better, but a late bloomer was Ivan Lendl. Lendl didn't really hit his peak until he realized that there was a long time that Lendl even made he skirted Wimbledon by saying he was literally allergic to grass. Okay, so it's like, who's going to argue, right? Okay, he's allergic to grass. Then he comes back and wins Wimbledon, right? It was a mental thing. Mentally, he couldn't get his act together. Wimbledon, for whatever freak the living hell out of him. But, he did well in his past third. Connors didn't do badly past third, but nothing like Djokovic. These two guys, if you added everything they won together, they still would beat up the Djokovic. But we'll see. I mean, do you think he'll be okay? I mean, he has done fine on clay, but clay's one of those things that screws everybody.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because obviously we saw the big injury for Zverev last year, so we know what can happen on clay when you slide too much. And I think for Zverev too, it's going to be interesting because he just started coming back. He hasn't played in too many tournaments. I think he first came back last August, but he's only played in like a handful of tournaments. I'd say like 4 or 5 since coming back from the injury. And I think he's a player you'll have to watch on clay because, he might have a mental block. It might not be the same. He might be afraid to reach certain balls because he's got to slide too much for it. And definitely. Now, Djokovic, I mean, it's tough because there's so many, the guy speaks Italian. I've seen him address the crowd in Rome afterwards, right? Obviously the Belgrade in his home country is played on clay. So, he's won the French Open countless times. Right. So I think he won't have a problem on clay, but I think probably the tournament he'll struggle the most in is the Monte Carlo because that's the one where everybody seems to come to play almost like more than the French Open.
They all live there.
I know they all live in Monte Carlo, and it's like such a beautiful place. It's like everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win the Monte Carlo. I know Tsitsipas loves the Monte Carlo, so he's a guy you got to watch for.
Djokovic was 7-7 in finals up to 2014, and then from the end of 2014 on, he's 14-4 in finals. He lost one in 2015, one in 2016, one in 2020, and one in 2021.
So he hasn't been since 2020. Yeah, he hasn't been beaten in a final.
Yeah, he lost the 2021 U.S. Open final to Medvedev, but I mean, since
that was his Grand Slam year too.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, since 20, I mean, he's won. He's been in finals. I mean, 2015 he was in all 4 finals. He won 3 of them and lost the French Open. In 2016 he was in 3 finals. In 2020 he's in 2. 2021 he was in all 4 finals. I mean, he's been ridiculous. And he goes on these. He just goes on these streaks, and he has these years where it's unbeatable, and it just doesn't matter who he plays. I mean, Nadal, Medvedev, Tsitsipas, anybody, Kyrgios, it just doesn't matter. I mean, he's going to beat everybody in front of him.
Yeah, you said he's 7-7 in finals. You know what those 7 losses are? Nadal, Federer, Nadal, Federer. Nadal,
yeah.
Federer.
I mean, from 20.
He wasn't losing any.
And from 2007 to 2014, he lost to Nadal 4 times and beat him. He's 3-4 against Nadal, and then he lost to Murray. He was 2-2 against Murray, right? And he lost his first final against Federer. Since then, he owns Murray. He owns Federer. He owned, then he lost to Wawrinka, but he's beaten Kevin Anderson and Del Potro and Dominic Thiem and Medvedev. There's been a stream of players that have stepped up to try. He's like the Bayern Munich of tennis. Anytime somebody tries to step up against him, one of these new dogs on the scene, on the prowl, no, get back. He doesn't. He doesn't lose. He lost twice to Wawrinka, two of his losses since 2015 are to Wawrinka in 2015 and 2016 when Wawrinka was really good.
Got a problem with those Swiss.
Yep. And he lost in the French Open, and he lost to Medvedev in 2021, and Medvedev just beat him in straight sets.
And that was the year, man. He just needed the U.S. Open for the Grand Slam, and Medvedev beat his ass.
Yep. Yeah. Look, I mean, it's just. I mean, he's won everything, but he's won stuff multiple times. I mean, he's not like
he's not a one-hit wonder for sure.
He's not like Sampras, who got all his titles on and grass and the US. I mean, he's won every title. I mean, he's even on the clay.
He's won it more than once.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's he's ridiculous, and he's gonna he's probably gonna be in the final here. So,
I wouldn't bet against it. What do you guys think of last night's U.S. game against Serbia? They lost 2-1, but Vasquez, I'm sorry, got a goal in that game.
Yeah, I don't really turn the TV on after like 10 o'clock. They want to play these games at like stupid o'clock. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand. I guess it's just for the people that are playing, and because anybody any good isn't playing in this game.
Right.
So
it was very. I mean, they put out a squad of people that were.
Yeah, Slinona's playing
under 22.
Yeah, it's nobody that plays in any good league because they're playing. So like I get it. I mean, because you're playing. It's like a glorified U23 game.
Yeah.
Because the MLS teams are getting back here and coming back into training. So I get it, but I mean, it's just like, they have these. It's the same thing with this. Bill was talking about this African tournament. Like, I don't even know who's playing in it. You see the scores and you're like, oh wow, they're in the final or they're in the quarterfinals. Yeah, but like nobody's playing in it. Like literally every league in the world is playing right now. So, they're definitely the quarterfinals of it's Friday, Algeria, Ivory Coast, Senegal, and Mauritania. Mauritania is in the quarterfinals, so that should tell you who's playing in these games. So, it's – I don't even have the fixtures available. Madagascar's playing Mozambique, and Niger's playing Ghana. I'm guessing there's not a lot of quality players playing in this tournament. But, I don't know.
Madagascar and Mozambique would not be such a bad.
It's weird because there's a bunch of groups and like Algeria. I don't even know. Algeria won all 3 games 3-0, and they don't even show the lineups. So like, it's good. I mean, U23s and stuff. Every time it's good to get this stuff going, but. I think you can't take a lot out of it, and the problem with the U.S. now is you don't even know who's running it, so it's a kind of a mess right now. I think they need to start figuring out the housekeeping and fix all that stuff.
Get that out of the way first.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we've avoided the big story, okay, and I think we've wasted enough time that we have to get to it. And that is this feud between Patrick Reed and Rory McIlroy over flicking a tee at Adam. So Reed flicks a tee at McIlroy, and suddenly we have a golf throwdown between Reed and McIlroy in Dubai. That sounds, that's almost like a boxing match that we could get, see on Showtime. Reed versus McIlroy, the battle of the tee. So,
yeah, that's I didn't even hear about that one.
Oh yeah, he flicks the tee. Reed flicks the tee at McIlroy in the post again. Now this is on practice, so he flicks the tee, and McIlroy at the press conference afterwards said, when somebody said, "Did you see Patrick, Reed flick the tee at you?" And he said, "Yeah." He said it was a classless move, but what else do you expect from Reed, right? So Reed then says that he got on Rory pretty good, and the next day one more time, they interview Rory about it. He laughed. They said, if I flicked the tee at him, he goes, he'd probably sue me. It's just that's where he is with it. But you don't see often golf throwdowns here, and now we're seeing one between Patrick Reed and Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, I think that's more. I think it's less so like actually the act of the tee bothering him, and I think it's more so bottled up anger from the fact that Patrick Reed is part of Live Golf,
right?
And obviously Rory has voiced many times his pure hatred for the Live Golf organization and all the golfers that defected there from the PGA.
Anybody who might pick up a club who might even play in the Live Golf sport.
Yeah, it's like, God forbid I gave 20 years of my life to the PGA, didn't make a single dime, and now I'd like to just, have some time with my family and make some actual money. But no one's going to watch Phil Mickelson anyway. Like, I love the guy, but he's past his prime.
He's a lefty. Come on.
Exactly. Like, he's a fellow lefty. I'm always going to love him, but his move to Live Golf isn't going to make me be like, oh, I need to go watch Phil play for Live Golf. I mean, like, maybe if it's on, I'll tune in just to see where he's at. But that's what I mean. It's such I think it's just Rory trying to make a big deal over, obviously he's a Live golfer and he's the enemy.
Right.
That's what you're seeing there. Just the pent up anger.
Look, far be it for me to judge anybody, who wants to make a living for their family. And, it's what was the amount they were offering? I think when Rory was getting offered up in that 175, 200 million deal.
Yeah, they offered Tiger
oh my God, they offered Tiger, a country. I mean,
here's this island as a signing bonus.
Right here. How would you like Greece? We'll be happy to buy it for you and give it to you.
Yeah, seriously, that's basically what it was. It's like, here, take Greece as a signing bonus, and the transfer will be in your account by tomorrow.
Right, by tomorrow, and we'll give you a real Tiger. You can just put him out there. Yeah.
No, never mind the Tiger on your club. We'll get you. We'll get you a real Tiger head. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh man, he'll carry your golf clubs for you.
That would be pretty. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Have the Tiger walk on your golf clubs.
Speaking of Greece, by the way, I heard they're the favorites for the World Cup in 2030.
You're joking.
No.
Oh, you mean to host? I thought you meant to win. I was gonna be like, how the hell is Greece winning a World Cup?
It's gonna be a try bid between Greece, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
I heard they're the favorites.
No Cyprus in there.
No.
Well, you gotta park the tank somewhere. So
yeah, so that's what I heard. Yeah, it's interesting.
So it's Greece, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt.
Yeah, because
that's just an interesting combo of countries.
It's with these things now, because now the try bid U.S., Mexico, Canada.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
Greece, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia, they're all right there on the med. So that's the scuttlebutt. I know Portugal, Spain, and Ukraine is another bid. Like they're gonna get.
There's a bid you want to go.
Well, they just it's like they threw Ukraine in there for pity votes, and I'm just like, what?
Where exactly in Ukraine you going to play? I mean,
that's the other thing. I mean, Portugal, Spain would have been great bid. You throw Ukraine there, like
they're just they're asking for it at that point. They're just asking for the votes.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's
come on, give me a vote, give me a
well, it's just like they have that Eurovision and everybody.
Right.
You talked about that. Ukraine, won last year in the pity vote, and it's just like,
But when is this? The next World Cup is open?
2030.
2030. Okay.
Ours, we host the next one.
Right.
Well,
So-
I think that would be interesting because that would be like a real intercontinental World Cup. You got Greece in Europe, Egypt in Africa, and then Saudi Arabia, I guess, in Asia.
Yeah,
Is it considered in Asia?
It would be. It's
It's like, the next Nations League in 2024, CONMEBOL is going to join South America. So they're going to have South America and Europe playing. And what they want to do is,
You'd think CONCACAF and CONMEBOL would team up over CONMEBOL and
God
UEFA.
forbid.
Yeah, I guess they want to do it, because the FIFA wants to move the World Cup, every 2 years or something, and maybe
3 years, I think it was.
Yeah. So they would have it, in that same kind of time period. So
Yeah, but now there's Sean. You might get your theory taken care of. If you've got South America and Europe, okay, you got every time zone covered. You can play, 1 o'clock in the afternoon in South America and 8 o'clock at night in Europe. And everything's covered from a standpoint of pretty much any TV window you might think of could be covered in that situation.
yeah, what they're saying is, that the top 10 more participants, the CONMEBOL countries will join the competition. They're trying to, bring the two strongest competitions together. Obviously all the games will be in Europe. So the European won't have, Europe won't go to South America, but the top 6 teams, Brazil, Colombia, Uruguay, Peru, Chile, Argentina, go into League A, and the next 4, Paraguay, Ecuador, Venezuela, and Bolivia, go into League B, because they made some changes yesterday to the Nations League, because people were mad that England and some big teams got relegated, so they made some changes now. There's
come on, it's not their fault.
Playoffs and all this stuff now.
Oh, boo, England! If you want to stay in League A, then why don't you play your games and get the points? Okay, it's not our fault. You lost 4 of your 6 matches and tied 2 of them.
Yep.
But
Garrett Southgate.
What's in it for the South American teams? I mean, they're making the trip over.
They want to, because I think they want to, they want the access here. I mean, they run. I mean, anytime a team from any other continent gets to a quarterfinal in the World Cup, I mean, it's breaking news. I mean, the last 2 have just been, really forever, have been dominated by those 2. So it's just, if you put those 2 together in a power axis, you're not changing the World Cup. Like, it's just not happening. So, FIFA can say whatever they want. It's not changing. So,
given the geopolitical situations with regard to Greece, Egypt, and Saudi, they're a made for World Cup group. They can give them anything they want.
Yeah.
There.
There's 48 teams. You're inviting the whole world at this point. I mean, 48 teams. I mean, it's a kind of a, it's getting to be, just have every team in the world be in it and do
an NCAA style.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
what's the thing?
Why not?
Yeah, college basketball. I mean, to be honest, instead of doing that first 4, put 264 teams in, and you play 2 more days. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, the logistics of it.
You could do that. I mean,
look, instead of 64, instead of having the 64 or the 4 play games, just do 128. It's one more day of games. I mean, you play, the play that. I don't know. You play Tuesday, or you play. There's ways to do it. I mean, they could.
the way you do it is instead of announcing on Sunday your bracket, you announce the bracket, on Friday. You finish the season.
Yep.
You could have teams playing on Monday.
Yeah, you play you play Monday, and then then you just go. I liked it better when it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Like they had that thing during COVID. Like I don't know. I think there's 100 ways you could do it.
Yeah, you could do it, and it'd be fun. I mean, because it is, March Madness is fun, and while you don't see, Cinderella teams every year, you do see a lot of good games.
I gotta go tape my I gotta go to work.
Okay.
So Amedeus, I'll talk to you later. We'll figure out a show or something like that for the soccer for the weekend.
All right, boys. All right, take care, Sean.
Okay.
Thanks for
Take
care. Bye-bye. So, all right, there goes Sean. And me and Amedeus again, which means we can talk more trash talking golf and tennis.
Yeah, the obscurities.
Yeah. But do you have a favorite of the majors in golf?
Favorite major?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I guess it would be the Masters. Okay. I mean, the U.S. Open. I never liked the course. They always pick a very difficult course for the U.S. Open. I don't like the weather out in Scotland or the time that tournament's usually on at. So yeah, I mean, probably the Masters. Probably the Masters is the nice. It's consistent every year.
Right.
So.
Place like no other.
Exactly the same course. You know what you're getting every year with the Masters.
Yeah, it's the Masters is unique. It's unique to all the sports actually. Since 1962, which is when CBS began the coverage of it, the Masters does not receive a single penny of television rights money. They actually buy the time. And then CBS's contribution, if you will, is instead of the rights fee going, they handle the production of the telecast, which means when the Masters can dictate whatever, they sell all the advertising themselves. And so that's an incredibly unique thing to have a major sporting event that literally gets no money from television having to do with, in theory, they don't. Of course, the advertising dollars, who's advertising, why are they advertising? Well, advertising to be the advertiser for the Masters. So they get that cash, but they buy the time. And so that means they control. Because there was a few years, maybe a decade ago, there was a couple of announcers they didn't like, and they thought that those announcers shouldn't be on the broadcast. Well, they own the broadcast, so people were going out, after CBS, going, well, why didn't CBS, put their foot down? Well, they couldn't because they sold the airtime. And then we had the thing with Martha. Oh, I forget her last name. The woman who challenged the fact that there wasn't any women members at the Masters. The Masters was so concerned that their advertisers, she was saying, we're going to boycott the advertisers. They actually didn't have an advertiser for 2 years. They ate that and just bought the time. So it's a unique course. It's a unique event. It is like stepping back in time. It's like when you enter the gates, you literally, it's like a time warp. You're leaving, the 2000s and you're entering the 1950s. You're at a place where for $10, you can't, for $10 at the Masters, you could eat for 3 days. I mean, the prices are, if you like pimento cheese sandwiches, that would be helpful. But yeah, I mean, it's the weirdest damn thing that you're ever going to see. And They don't even call fans to, if you're lucky enough to get a ticket, they don't call them fans, they're patrons. And everything about it is very orchestrated.
Yeah, it's
on the back end, not
Yeah.
the back end.
it's the one tournament that really just they want control over the entire thing is what it shows me. They have complete control. And even last year there was the controversy with the live golfers with the Masters let them in. Well, the Masters is an invitational and they can invite whoever the hell they want. So
and they do.
And that's exactly right. So like they didn't hesitate really to be like, no, we don't see golfer's a golfer, man. If you're good, you're coming to the Masters. You're invited. Like that's what our tournament's about.
So By the way, you're not allowed to take that green jacket home.
Oh, it stays there?
It stays there. Now, it's your name is on, your name is there and the jacket is there. But no, you don't get to take the jacket.
It goes up in their like Hall of Fame or whatever. They have like a wall of all the jackets with the names on it.
Yeah, there's a really cool thing that they do. They, as you say, it's an invitational. They invite more than four, but they invite the top, quote unquote, top 4 amateurs in the country. And above Butler Cabin, which is kind of like the clubhouse for the Masters, there is 4 rooms. And so when they come, the amateurs come, rather than staying in a hotel nearby, or some of the guys rent houses nearby, those 4 amateurs stay at Butler Cabin in the top of Butler Cabin. So they literally stay 4 days. They stay at literally physically on the course, which is kind of a cool thing.
At least you don't have to drive in the morning.
Yeah, Tiger was there one year. Well, if you're, I have a friend who played the course. I've been to the course, but I never played. A friend of mine did, and what happens is when you drive up, the first thing you do is you drive up. You stop the car. The car is valet parked. You do not touch your clubs. Someone gets the clubs from, the trunk of the car or wherever, and then they take the clubs to the clubhouse. You will not see those clubs again until you enter the clubhouse.
Until your caddy's bringing them to you on the
and
first
you must
day.
have a caddy. Okay.
Yeah, there's no cards, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, there's no cards, but you literally have to hire a caddy. There. Now, my brother played St. Andrews, and 2 things: anybody can play St. Andrews. That's not true. You queue up at about 4:00 in the morning for early tee time, whatever. You have to have a 10 or below handicap, and you have to have something that proves that you have a 10 or below. But then they also make you hire a caddy. Okay, but if you think about it, and you're playing at St. Andrews, why wouldn't you want a caddy? Because you don't know that course. It's even if you played it, you wouldn't. The bunkers and all that crap. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's only can help you with having the caddy, and that's
definitely not going to hurt you. Anybody out there? Here's an open question for us: if you could, are there 3 or 4 bucket list courses that you would say these are the 3 or 4 courses I'd like to play if ever I had the opportunity?
I mean, definitely Augusta would be one of them.
Right. Yeah.
I guess I wouldn't mind playing St. Andrews. I don't like I don't really like the weather too much.
You don't like links or courses, or you don't like?
I
weather in Scotland. I mean,
that's what I mean, right?
It's like that. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that.
That's what I mean, right? Like it's just the location. I don't like playing in that kind of like wet, foggy-ish weather, but I mean, the course itself, it looks really nice, and I would love to play. I know the sand bunkers are like,
that's you know what? Television does not do that justice.
Oh, I know. You literally have to go backwards to get out of them. Like,
well, if you're lucky, how would you like to be in a bunker so deep that it's above your head?
Yeah, I know. And when you see
literally have to hit it straight up. I don't even,
I know the TV doesn't do it justice, but you can kind of see when the player's standing there how the wall is above their head, and you're like, if you really stop and think, you're like that dirt wall is taller than the guy.
Right. I'll take a drop, please.
And that's what the 64 degree is for,
Right.
Jim. All right. You just take a full swing whack and hope it goes straight up in the air and lands on the top of the mountain.
Yeah, please God, don't go straight up and land straight down. Stop.
Yeah, it goes backwards. I mean, either way, you're getting out. So
You're getting screwed one way or the other.
But
no, that's it's a links course. The problem with the links course, though, if you for those of you who played it, know you don't know what fairway you're on. You can hit the ball, and somebody, you're standing on the fairway, and the guy comes up to you and says, why are you hitting in that direction? And, well, I'm going to the 7th hole. He goes, well, you're on this 814th fairway. It's like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, my buddy's used to playing on the hole beside anyway, so
well, then see there, this would be perfect for him.
It all works out.
So St. Andrews, if we had a nice warm day in Scotland without the wind,
if
coming off the North Sea, that's
asking for a lot there.
There is not a warm day in Scotland. I mean, let's put that out there. It doesn't get warm.
Yeah. Actually, there's one in Canada I would love to play.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, called Cabot Cliffs out in Nova Scotia. It's right on the Atlantic Ocean, pretty much. It's one of those where you could hit your ball into the ocean because some of the holes go along the coast.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's a really nice one. It's not a PGA course though, obviously.
That's all right. There are a lot of courses that aren't PGA courses.
Yeah. It's not on any tour at all. But
so that's in Nova Scotia, and you're playing. Are there bluffs when you say you could hit the ball in the ocean, or is it flat-ish?
Yeah, I think there's bluffs.
Okay.
I've never played it, obviously, but I've seen the pictures, and they look really nice. My buddy's a big fan of TPC Sawgrass, the one you were mentioning the other day.
Yeah.
Loves that 17th hole out on the
there you go, the island.
The island green. Yeah, I mean, I had friends who I have friends who caddied at Hamilton Golf Course in high school, and I went to Hamilton Golf Course to watch a Canadian Open a few years ago. Got a signed ball from Daniel Summerhays.
Hey, there you go.
Don't know where he is these days, but
you know where the ball is.
Yep. Yeah, so there's that, and then I mean, my buddy's a Club Link member, so we've played Glen Abbey a few times.
Yeah.
They're trying to rip it down though. So,
well, there's some Pebble Beach. I was trying to think. The reason I was thinking of Pebble was when you said that there's cliffs in, out in the Nova Scotia course. There's cliffs. That's kind of the cool part of Monterey and the peninsula. Is the golf courses up here, and then the beach and the ocean is down here. So you can knock the ball. And occasionally we've seen people.
Monday at the golf course, dangerous day at the beach.
Right. You're down there trying to hit the ball back up onto the, back up into the, on the course, and, at the same time hoping not to club a seal while you're, down there.
I've seen people do that, try to scale the way down, and it's man, just take a drop at that point.
Yeah,
you're gonna kill yourself before you even get down there.
If you're in Southern California ever, in Los Angeles, in South Bay area of Los Angeles, which is Palos Verdes, there's 3 courses down there that go literally against. There's not everywhere. Every hole that you tee from, you can see the ocean from it, and it's gorgeous. There's 3 or 4 courses down there, and one of them is a public course, so you can play it anytime you want to. And so next time you're in LA, go down to the South Beach to Palos Verdes, and it's about a 35-minute drive from downtown. And, you got some cool stuff down there. But yeah, there's a lot of fun courses that you never get to see because they're not played on the on the PGA Tour or the LPGA Tour. But they're fun, and if you have a favorite, let us know. We're always out there. I'll tell you one that doesn't get a lot of play, but it's a good course, is Bay Hill, which is where the Arnold Palmer tournament is in March every year. And it's a lovely course. It's a very difficult, testy course. In Washington's D.C., the congressional, which has nothing to do with Congress, is a good one as well. It's one of those old beat you down courses. It's like, it's not that it's. I mean, to me, the reason it beats you down is because the fairways are long. If you get, God forbid, off the fairway, you're in the woods, so you're whacking trees, and it's what I'm talking about. You have to grind to play congressional. It's too damn long for an average golfer, and you just have to grind. And if you can do that, if you have the mental capacity not to break your clubs or throw them, you can make it. But man, it's a grind. It is an absolute grind. So yeah, there you go. So a little talk of golf, a little golf talk. As the Dubai Open is being played pretty much as we speak, because it's one of those where they play kind of in the dusk because they don't want to be in the heat of the sun of the daytime. But one of those. But anyway, so we are about to finish for the day. But one last thing for everybody out there: is there a bucket sports event that you have on your list to say, look, if I get a chance to go to that event, what would that event be?
For me, it's probably the Super Bowl, I would say.
Okay.
But I've never been to a football game at all, so it's just something that, I've been to tons of hockey games.
Sure.
I've been to tons of baseball games, but I don't know. There's nothing like a football game. I would like to see one. That's definitely on the bucket list.
Well, that one we can probably help arrange for you. You're not that far away from Buffalo, so get you over to the Bills game.
That's the thing, right? I've been waiting for the day the Cardinals come up to Buffalo and play. Then I was gonna try. I'm trying to think. The way they schedule, you end up playing. Well, every fourth year. Yeah. Is that how it works?
East plays West, East plays North.
Yeah, I noticed when they do the schedule, with the non-conference or the non-divisional games anyway, it's a lot of it's you end up playing a team in an entire conference, right? You play everybody in the NFC East. And
that's on, and then it's kind of randomly, you'll end up playing, you'll end up looking at a schedule and you'll see Washington playing San Francisco, and they'll play Seattle, and they'll play everybody in the West. And then somehow, some way, they'll have a home game against Detroit. And you see, how did Detroit get on the schedule? It's they have nothing to do with the West, but that way, the goal is to get each team to play every team in the league eventually, every 4 years. So, with your luck, maybe Buffalo will have to go to Arizona.
It's been a while because I think when they met up a few years ago, it was in Arizona. So okay,
well then you got a good shot.
I've been waiting for years for this matchup to happen, Arizona versus Buffalo, and it's gonna suck because for years Buffalo was bad. Now my team sucks.
Oops. Yeah.
So it's gonna be disappointing. I'm gonna go watch them get destroyed.
Well, you can't always win. Even when the team is good, you never know what might happen. A professional sport, football game is always entertaining, but I will caution you only to this: if you do go to Buffalo, and it is in the wintertime when it is cold, be prepared to sit there and wait your way through commercial breaks, because that goes. There's a lot of not playing being done when you're physically at the game. And that's not to say that it's not fun. It's fun. But you get, when you watch on TV, it seems like everything's moving, right? Not so much when you're there. It doesn't, but it's fun. So, hey, you'll enjoy it. It'll be a lot of fun. So I will say this though, being a tennis fan, it's hard to beat the U.S. Open tournament because you've got 2 weeks of events going on. You have all the courts out at the, there, so your chances of seeing someone you really, like up close and personal is much easier at the U.S. Open, especially the first week, than it is in the second week when things start to the weeding out of process is starting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of a cool thing in that regard. And again, like I said, that's accessible. You can buy tickets to that. Super Bowls are difficult because there's only a certain amount of tickets, and then there's a lot of corporate money in the tickets, and so you end up paying a rather large sum of money for a ticket for one day. So anyway, it's worth a shot. It's definitely worth a shot. All right. Any other topics you'd like to discuss before we head out here? We wind things down on Thursday.
No, it's a boring Thursday today.
Well, you can catch up on paperwork.
Yeah, don't really like the games that are on today. In any sport.
Well, that's not bad too. Sometimes, you'll joke about the best bet you make is the one you don't. Today would be that day.
There's not a lot of soccer, and the basketball just sucks. The hockey's not great. So we'll see.
Take a day off.
Exactly, right? Just relax a bit today.
Yeah, chill. Just sit back and go, well, let me do some futures, looking at what I might be doing over the weekend.
Well, it's a real stay inside day because we did get the snowstorm yesterday, and as I said, it started at 9 in the morning, and it didn't stop. Didn't start till like 3 in the morning.
Wow.
Today, so yeah, it's a winter wonderland outside right now.
It's nice to have you as a staff meteorologist.
Yeah, there you go. I'm here to give you all your
everything.
Exactly. The wind speeds are high today, and the snow is out. So stay safe and don't slip.
I have a Canadian friend who we're constantly talking, and he'll say to me, "Well, how's the weather?" I tell him, and he goes, "What's that in Celsius?" So they always flip back and forth between the metric system and the non-metric system as to what is the temperature. So, I literally have an app on my phone. I can click real quick and go, okay, that's what it is. So that he knows. Or he tells me in Celsius, and I'm thinking, all right, well, math is not my forte. So let me see what I can pull out of here. But yeah, it's fun. So by all means, stay out of the snow and just kind of hang out and enjoy your day. And we'll be back. There's a lot. This is a huge weekend of stuff going on. So,
yeah, I think because I know the NHL All-Star break is coming up soon. I guess the NBA one won't be at the same time, but it'll be coming up soon.
Yeah, it usually comes 2 weeks after the NHL.
Yeah, so we're going to be getting a few stoppages for like a week or so. So that's why I guess I've noticed like the hockey's kind of like loading up all their games on a day, you know what I mean? Like we got to get all the games in before this day, and then we're taking 4 to 5 days off.
Well, the NFL Pro Bowl, they're gonna have your buddies, the Mannings,
and then they got I think the DCs
It's a flag football game. So all right, good enough. And then the NBA All-Star game, and this is the thing that's kind of cool on that one. The NBA All-Star game, they're not going to pick the starting team until game time.
Oh.
So the coach, these coaches that are bringing in to do these games will pick their side, much like they would if they were on a playground saying, I'll take Johnny, you take Zayo, and then they take the next guy. So in their never-ending quest to come up with different ways to get people interested in basketball all-star games, because most of the people watch the day before, which is a slam dunk contest,
Yeah,
the skills
fun stuff.
competition, the 3-point contest. Favorite all-time 3-point contest, Larry Bird, when he literally did not take off his sweats, walks out on the court and says, "Which one of you guys is going to take second?" And then proceeds to destroy everything.
Yeah,
It's a typical Larry Bird move.
that's Larry Bird.
That's right. So the man who was disrespected one time when they were playing.
Who am I winning my McDonald's Big Mac off of?
Right. Yeah. Charles, he was talking. They were playing Phoenix, and he walks by Charles Barkley when they were coming out of a commercial break, coming back on the court, and he says to Barkley, "You guys are disrespecting me." And he's like, Barkley said, "What the hell are you talking about? Disrespecting you? We're just playing a basketball game here." He says, "You put a white guy on me." And Chuck just said he didn't know what to respond, how to respond. He just started laughing. He said, "What the hell is the matter with this guy?"
What?
Because, by the way, the white guy that's over there guarding you, he said, "Yeah, it's Dan Marley. He's not a bad basketball player." So, yeah, Larry Legend.
No, yeah.
There's a reason, but yeah, we're gonna have some fun. I do like the skills competition, and the NHL has come up with some kind of cool skills competitions too.
Yeah, they got the games just suck though for both because like the
NBA
the NBA is like a 160, 150 game. No one plays
Right.
defense. Everybody just tries to hit threes. And then the NHL is always like a 10-7 routing. It's been better since they switched to the 3-on-3 format and made it 4 teams like for each division instead of a conference. But it used to be bad. It used to just be like, why even draft a goalie to the All-Star team?
Right.
It's just going to be 10-9 anyway.
And you're going to use 3 of them anyway. So,
Yeah, I think we're switching them every period, and they're all letting in 4 goals still. Does it really matter?
And nobody's calling fouls, and guys are getting killed. And
These are all-stars? Like, come on.
Well, some of them are, but not the I don't know. The hardest shot and the fastest guy is usually kind of.
And then like the rule where every team needs to have a player represented. Like I get it, I like the rule, but at the same time, are they really all stars then? And then don't even get me started on the Pro Bowl where like fans voted. Like those aren't all stars. Those are who I like the most. Like come on.
Well, they used to be that way in Major League Baseball. They used to have a fan vote and pick it off the fan vote, and for 3 or 4 years in a row, the entire starting team was the Cincinnati Reds. And so they realized, you know what, you can game the system by voting often and sending in your little ballot. And so, yeah, the Reds had pretty much everybody on the National League was a Cincinnati Red for a couple of years there. St. Louis did it too, so it's not everybody in Cincinnati. I'm not throwing shade at Cincinnati.
There you go.
They were equal opportunity ballot stuffers. So yeah, it does happen. But yeah, I don't think fans should vote. I also don't think I think the players should vote.
Yeah, players.
They know who's
exactly. All right, you just can't vote for yourself. Pick somebody else, and then there you go.
Yeah, you can always do the old "I'll vote for you if you vote for me" routine.
That too.
Going back to the 8th grade, that's the way you pick things. Vote for me, I'll vote for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you both applied. So, there you vote for yourself, you vote for him. My brother one time lost an opportunity to be a safety patrol because he said he voted for the other person, and the other person voted by one vote.
Wow.
And see, and I told you learn a very important lesson there.
Vote for yourself.
When someone tells you they're going to vote for you, maybe don't take it on face value. And with that lovely piece of information, we will move on and have a lovely day, Amedeus and everybody out there. We'll see you on a Friday, and we'll have some fun. We got all kinds of cool stuff coming up this weekend, and if you're lucky, we may even have a guest. You never know. That's the way we roll here. We don't know. You don't know. That makes it interesting. That makes it that means it's fun to come and see us. And it's always fun to see what our audience, Foxy and the gang out there, Bill, the gang, are all up to. So we'll get to that. You guys have a great day. Amedeus, thanks so much. And see you tomorrow.